Good evening, you're watching Estuary News, I'm Hugh Riches. Tonight, Hull receives a prestigious award, the future of the Tour de Yorkshire, and graffiti art making its way to Scunthorpe. And later in tonight's programme, I'll be joined by our very own Luke with the latest from the culture capital, and before that by Peter True and Ted Stanley about creative writing. Hull has been recognised for its citywide approach to investment in education and training. The city received an Improving the Business Environment Award in the Enterprising Britain Awards. It replaced Birmingham as the most enterprising town in Britain. The judges were impressed by Hull's programmes to invigorate the economy and support the renewable energy sector. There are now over 6,000 more jobs in Hull than there were in 2011. The Tour de Yorkshire has been extended to 4 days next year. Organisers had hoped to extend the race after its success in the last 3 years, and the cycling world's governing body, the UCI, confirmed the decision today. This year's event saw over 2 million people line the route, boosting the local economy by £64 million. The event will take place between Thursday the 3rd and Sunday the 6th of May next year. Cleethorpes town centre is to have a makeover. Nearly £2 million has been awarded to help enhance the historic character of the town centre. It's part of a 5-year regeneration scheme to conserve and enhance historic buildings and improve the area of Alexandra Road and Seaview Street. £1.9 million has been made available from the Heritage Lottery Fund, alongside an additional £1 million from the council. Visually impaired members of the public can now make their public transport journeys safer thanks to a new key fob. North East Lincolnshire Council, working in partnership with NG, is launching key fobs that allow people to hear announcements at bus stops. The fobs were originally the product of the Royal National Institute for the Blind. They weren't initially designed for public transport, but the RNIB spotted an application. Tim Gilbert of Nimbus Journey Info says the fobs should make people's journeys safer.
Basically, for you and I, we can see the displays, and the electronic bus timetable tells us when the next bus is due to depart. Now imagine you haven't got sight, and there's no way you can see that. What good are they? So the new little key fob enables you to listen to the display. It will talk back to you. When you walk up to it, it will tell you where you are. Then you can press a button and it will tell you the next 4 departures. Originally, it was developed by the Royal National Institute for the Blind. They saw the need for information to be able to be given to people who can't see so well. And they developed a trigger board that allows the person with the key fob to approach. It will then trigger the reaction from the unit and give them the information that they need. It enables people who are visually impaired to have a more full and active life when travelling on public transport.
And if you want to apply for an RNIB React fob, you can contact the customer access point at Grimsby's municipal offices. Lincolnshire Police are warning motorists to be vigilant following a spike in vehicle crimes in Skegness. Since the start of September, the force has seen a number of incidents where windows have been broken, doors forced and items stolen. The force says a number of measures, including removing valuables and keeping glove boxes open to show they're empty, will help reduce crime. The people of Hull are being urged to turn out in force to support a day celebrating the city's diverse mix of cultures. The Humber All Nations Alliance is holding its 8th annual International Fashion Show next month, supported by the Hull City of Culture team. Members of the city's various cultural groups, including those from Eastern Europe, Africa and Asia, will all be represented. And Brigitte Lashlo says the event gets more popular each year.
This is the 8th International Fashion Show that we are organizing. It grows each year. We have new groups with new fantastic and colorful outfits, and more people who are attending, more people who want to participate. This is a day to celebrate how diverse is who become in recent years. You will meet with from from people from the Filipino community to people from the Afghani community, all Eastern Europeans, Lithuanians, Russians, Hungarians, Romanians, Malayali, Indians, so people from all around the world coming together to this one event to celebrate culture, to celebrate friendship in peace and harmony.
Cambridge Park Academy in Grimsby has turned 25 years old today. The school, which takes in pupils from across North East Lincolnshire, North Lincolnshire and Hull, specialises in educating students with special needs. Principal of the academy, Mark Eames, says Cambridge Park offers a bespoke service in North East Lincolnshire.
It's a landmark for Cambridge Park. You know, this is a really big year for us that we've achieved 25 years of serving local people, local families and improving people's lives. Cambridge Park Academy serves a wide region of North East Lincolnshire, North Lincolnshire, Lincolnshire and Hull. We have children from Hull as well, and we see ourselves as being a one-stop shop where parents and families can get all of the support that they want to support their children with additional needs. So we work with physiotherapists, audiologists, the visual impairment department from the hospital, speech and language and the consultant paediatrician. So all parents can get all advice that they want from our academy and through our academy.
Oh, 25 years old is quite an achievement, isn't it? I've been here 5 or 6 years now. Really enjoy teaching here, supporting the children, and that's a sense of achievement in itself, supporting them daily.
What do you like doing the most?
I like sticking things. I like sticking things, but not drawing.
Our staff have got a wealth of experience. Some staff have been here since the school opened 25 years ago, and because of that, there's a real warm feeling to the school. People care about the academy, and people are really committed to ensure that children achieve at this academy.
I'm joined now by Ted Stanley and Pete True to tell me about creative writing in Grimsby and worldwide. Gentlemen, welcome. I hope you're both well, although I know you're not, Pete. You okay?
I'm poorly.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about the Hammond House competition. How's it going? You're a founder of Hammond House, Ted. What's it doing and what's the competition?
It's going very well, but there's not much time left. The deadline is in 9 days' time on the 30th of September. So if you want to get an entry in, then you'll have to do it quickly. And you can enter at www.hammondhousepublishing.com.
And what categories will you be judging?
There's short story last year, and there's also new for this year, poetry and screenplay.
And short stories between, what, about 1,000 and 2,000 words long?
No, it's between 1,000 and 7,000, so there's a good range of...
7,000? That's a novella.
Yeah, well, you're judging it, so it doesn't really bother me.
This is the second competition.
This is the second competition, and this year, we had entries from all over the world, we thought last year, but this year has been absolutely crazy. I mean, we've had entries from Japan, Iceland, Finland, North America, South America, all over the place. But the majority of the entries, I'm pleased to say, are still local from the region here.
Pete, as Ted said, you and I are joint judges with several others, I'm glad to say, because there's an awful lot of reading ahead of us.
Yeah.
Delightful reading, I'm sure. It'll be great fun. What are we looking for?
Well, me personally, I want to be shown things. I don't want to be told that a character's sad or that they enjoy something. I want to be shown. You know, show me the characters living, interacting with their world, and let the reader feel part of what's going on.
So you've got to be involved and engaged and all those splendid things. Is it true? You always, writing teachers always say show don't tell, but you know, quite often I think that's not necessarily the case, is it?
We don't. We want to avoid a list of events, a list of this happened and this happened and this happened. We want to experience.
So you want to avoid all the habits developed by journalists,
yes.
basically. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I'll try to bear that in mind. and as I look forward to it. Local events as well, Ted, going on around here.
Yeah, our community engagement part of our organisation is forming writers' groups around the region in North Lincolnshire, and also running some creative writing workshops in local libraries for National Libraries Week.
If people want to get in touch, contacts there?
They contact www.hammondhousepublishing.com. All the details are on the website, or go to their local library and find out from there, and they can book on the course at their local library. It's in Grimsby, Immingham, Cleethorpes, Woodall Spa, Horncastle and Waltham.
And finally, there's one other project that are you involved in this? You're going to be presenting a programme here on Estuary TV about entertainment and the arts.
I am, yes, coming up in October, a new arts and entertainment programme which is going to be telling people, it's going out on a Thursday evening, it's going to be telling people what they can do over the weekend. So dance, theatre, music, all the things that are going on both north and south of the river.
And this is, for some reason, a particularly rich area in the arts, isn't it? I mean, I didn't necessarily mean, it was nice to have the Royal Ballet here a few days ago, but, the amateur theatre, painters, writers...
There's an amazing amount going on. I mean, we have only just announced the programme is going out, and we've been inundated by people wanting to contribute to it and that. And there's still time for people to get involved, because as well as telling people what's going on, we also want people to tell us what's going on, so we can then circulate it around other people. So get involved in the programme, tell us what you're doing, if you've got an event on, or a piece of theatre, whether it's professional or amateur theatre, or a gallery opening, come and tell us.
Get in touch via Estuary. We'll talk about that a lot more, I suspect.
Okay.
Join me after the break when our own Luke brings us a roundup of the news from the culture capital and graffiti art, talking about in Scunthorpe. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come tonight, Dan brings us a roundup of the latest sporting action, and our very own Luke with the latest from Hull. The Grimsby Urban Art Festival is in full swing for another year, but with a difference. 2017 marks the first year in which the festival will be featured in another town. The 2021 Visual Arts Centre in Scunthorpe has opened its doors to the imaginative spray can creations. Fred McNamara brings us more.
Back for its third year, the Grimsby Urban Arts Festival is travelling to Scunthorpe, where it will be part of the 2021 Visual Arts Centre's exhibition Urban Art Now. The festival itself gives street artists the chance to show the public how graffiti shouldn't be just seen as vandalism, whilst also giving budding artists a chance to pick up a can and create their own artwork.
We've been aware of events here at Grimsby Minster for a while. I mean, they used to have the Light Night, and then we've been working with Our Big Picture to present some fantastic contemporary art exhibitions here. And Paula, who runs Our Big Pictures, one of the other things she does is organise this amazing festival of urban art in Grimsby. So we kind of made connections with her, and it's resulted in some of these amazing pieces coming to Scunthorpe.
So we're getting the top graffiti artists in the UK and from around the world to come down to Grimsby and show Grimsby what graffiti is all about. And it's not just all about vandalism and damaging people's property, it's about beautiful artwork that looks amazing. And all these artists are professional artists, they all, well, 90% of them earn a living from their art, so they're already doing it, and they're amazing, so I don't know how anybody can not say it's art at the end of the day when it just because it comes out of a spray can. Well,
I really hope it spreads by word of mouth. For years we've had people saying, when we ask people, what do you want to see, a lot of people said we want graffiti art in the gallery. It's street artists are different from normal artists. Sometimes they're quite difficult to negotiate with or get together in one event. But the Grimsby art event, because it's been growing over the last few years, has really got a reputation of being able to get some really great international artists to get involved. So we really hope the reaction's positive and people will like what they see and want to see more.
It's about showing the younger generation what it's all about, and if you work hard and you get dedicated to something, that this is what you can produce. So, and it's the same with the break dancing, and it's the same with the music as well, because that's what we're hoping it eventually does, is encourages people to go out and do it themselves.
Making people aware of graffiti's artistic value is something that Grimsby can now share with Scunthorpe. From McNamara, Estuary News.
And I'm joined now by our very own Luke with the latest from the culture capital. Luke, good to see you again.
Good evening, Hugh. Welcome back.
I think our very own Luke has become a bit of a title, hasn't it?
It has.
Really?
It has, absolutely.
What's happening in Hull?
Well, welcome back from your summer jaunt, Hugh.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. In the presenter's chair.
Good to be here.
Excellent. OK, our first story from the City of Culture. The Turner Prize is coming to the Friends Art Gallery. And that kicks off next Tuesday. And it's running right through until the 7th of January.
Now, the Turner Prize is a massive thing.
Huge.
It's the biggest event in the sort of artistic year, or at least the institutionalised artistic year in the country. It's usually at London, usually at the Tate Britain, I think, in London.
That's right. And I wonder if this is the first time it's stepping out of Hull. I'm not quite sure if that's correct.
I think it's the first time it's out of London. It's certainly the first time it's in Hull. And it's always quite controversial. It used to be for artists under, I think, 40 or 45. And this year or last year they changed the rules so anyone can take part. Okay. But it's raised a few, Tracy Emin and Damien Hirst made their names winning the Turner Prize.
That's right.
And that nice Potter chap who wears dresses.
Grayson Perry.
Thank you very much. And they all sort of, that's how they came to prominence, is by winning the Turner Prize.
Through the Turner Prize. Well done to them. And I think Tracy Emin's, one of her famous pieces of work was something to do with a bed, wasn't it?
It was an unmade bed, yes. I have a facsimile of that work in my house. Turner, though.
Yeah.
What would he have thought of it?
I think he'd be very impressed, certainly with the 4 people who've been shortlisted, for this year's Turner Prize. The shortlist here are 4 artists by the name of Hervan Anderson, Andrea Butner, Lubina Himid, and Rosalind Nashabashi.
Well done.
I did try to pronounce this before we came to air, and I failed miserably.
Very good.
They've been chosen for their works for the Turner Prize. And Anderson was chosen for his solo exhibitions Hervan Anderson, dub versions at the New Exchange in Nottingham. Apparently the jury praised him as an outstanding British painter whose art speaks to our current political movement with questions about identity and belonging.
Nice to have a proper old painter every now and then, rather than somebody who hangs boxes from beds and things like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's another big cultural event coming up this...
There is indeed.
And another big name. Turner's pretty big, but this is...
Yes, and before we move on, the overall winner will be announced in December.
Oh, sorry, Luke, thank you very much.
Of the Turner Prize. But yes, the Humber Mouth Literature Festival is coming to Hull, also in September, 2nd to the 8th of October, and it's celebrating 25 years.
It doesn't seem that long.
Of providing literature performances and poetry across the city. I didn't realise it was 25 years old, actually.
And when does that start, and how long does it go on for?
2nd of October to the 8th of October, taking place in various venues and locations across the city. And does the name Melvyn Bragg ring any bells with your good self, Hugh?
I listen to him every Thursday morning on the radio.
And he did the fantastic South Bank for many years.
Yeah, you can never get that tune out of your head,
I know. Yes, a great theme tune, wasn't it?
Great
theme tune. And he did some really great profiles. Well, he's going to be giving a talk about his work on the 4th of October, 4 p.m. at Hull's Central Library. And his broadcasting career began at the BBC back in 1961. So he's been around for a long time.
He has, but that's probably a little rude to mention that to him.
Yes.
Another big name coming up, John Godber.
Yes, that's right. Well, the Hull New Theatre has reopened on Saturday with the fantastic opening the new ballet by Hull-born director Kevin O'Hare.
Of course.
And Hull-born playwright, of course, and John Godber. He's penned a new comedy called The Kings of Hull. And that's coming to the Hull New Theatre also next week, 27th of September to the 7th of October. And according to the Hull 2017 website, it's a new comedy which tells the story of the King family across 3 generations whose sons and daughters are struggling to cope in a changing world. A very Hull-centric cast.
Good.
John Godber's wife is in the production,
yes.
Jane Thornton. She's been on the sofa
she has
earlier
in
the
spring,
year because she's part of East Riding Theatre. And Hull-born actor Martin Barris, who was in Emmerdale in 1985, and Pippa Fulton, a former Fame Academy contestant.
Dates for that production, please.
27th of September to the 7th of October at the Hull New Theatre.
At the Hull New Theatre.
Yes.
What a splendid reopening that's had.
Wonderful. See you next week, Hugh.
Thank you very much. Now, here's Dan with all the sports news.
Hull boxer Luke Campbell could be under 72 hours away from becoming this area's first men's boxing champion. The 2012 Olympic gold medalist is preparing to take on Jorge Linares in Los Angeles in the early hours of Sunday morning. It's for the WBA lightweight championship. Venezuelan Linares is a three-weight world champion and is the overwhelming favourite. Elsewhere today, Hull FC coach Lee Radford says winger Fetuli Talanoa will definitely play in tomorrow's crucial game at Castleford. The winger sat out last week's narrow victory over Wakefield with a hyperextended elbow. A win tomorrow night will mean the Black and Whites will progress to the playoffs, but they could be assured of their place sooner if St Helens lose to Salford this evening. But Radford insists a win is essential tomorrow, no matter what it means.
For us, we need momentum going into the semi. And that's what we're trying to generate and what we have been trying to generate since the cup final. There's been no more excitement this week than there was last, because we know from the week before we don't turn up, we get beat, so we're done. So it's knockout football.
Across the city, and Hull Kingston Rovers have 4 changes to their 19-man squad for Saturday's game against Warrington. The Robins are already promoted and Ben Cockayne will start in his final game for Rovers. Jamie Ellis, Maurice Blair, Lee Jewett and Thomas Minns are all in. They're in place of Brad Clavering, Jordan Abdul, Kieran Moran and Graham Horn. Football now, and Grimsby Town defender Paul Dixon has been praising his side's upturn in form in recent weeks. The Mariners won just once in their opening month of the season, but have already picked up 3 wins in September. And Dixon is confident of picking up another 3 points at Newport on Saturday.
It is good progress. We started the season well with a good win, but then we couldn't build on it. We've gone to Accrington and then a home game to Yeovil. We've won the game well, worked hard, and I think deserve the 3 points. We just have to, like I say, build on those 2 games, do what we've been doing well, and take our chances when they come. I'm sure we can come away with 3 points on Saturday.
Mitch Rose is back in training as in contention to play against his former club on Saturday, but Zach Mills remains sidelined. Elsewhere in football, Hull City defender Michael Dawson will bring up 100 Tigers appearances on Saturday when they travel to Reading. Having joined back in 2014, the former England international has played 3 Premier League seasons with the club and helped them to promotion in 2016. And he'll be able to hear from his current boss, Leonid Slutsky, in tomorrow's show. And that's all for the sport.
Thanks, Dan. That's it for tonight. My thanks to our guests this evening, Ted Stanley, Pete True, and our very own Luke, who did such a brilliant job over the summer. If you've a news story, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages, email news@estuary.tv, or phone Grimsby 01472 31553, or you can write to us at Estuary TV, Nuns Corner, Laceby Road, Grimsby, North East Lincolnshire, DN345BQ. Until tomorrow, from all of us, good evening.